So I'm in this bus, and as I'm in this bus, a lot of friends are now reaching out to my family because I was in the lunchtime news, bank manager thief. And so by the time I get to Langata, even the prison warders have seen the news, and they're like, this is the bank thief. We saw her in the lunchtime bulletin. Here she is. So everyone at Langata welcomed me as the bank manager thief. And so even the other remandees started asking me, where's the money? Where's the money? It was a very traumatic time, trying to explain how I didn't steal, coming into terms with exactly what has just happened. But inside me, knowing I had not committed any of these crimes, I was so sure within myself that I'd get the vindication I was looking for.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Murenga Monday, where we discuss all things governance and things that are affecting the nation and that we need to break free from as a nation in order to fully live out the purpose and the calling of this nation. And today's part 2 of an amazing conversation that I'm having with Teresa, who runs a foundation called Clean Start. Great. So now you've told your parents, meet me. So they can't come today, wherever you are.
Yeah,
they have to meet you tomorrow.
Yeah, in court. And so we meet in court the following morning.
How was your night?
That night, I remember, because long story short, my sleep got interrupted. I find it very difficult to sleep from, say 9, 10 till morning. It got interrupted. That was the first night of that journey that I couldn't sleep the entire night.
Of course you can't. You're in a police cell and you were not anticipating to be there.
Yeah, and it's the beginning of the year. It's January. I've just made my New Year's resolution, what I want to achieve 2009. And I'm very eager to see myself realize the goals that I want to achieve. And it just get interrupted abruptly, and I'm now sitting at Kileleshwa police station. And so that entire night passes, a lot going through my mind, wondering exactly how these police people would be so wrong. And morning comes, I hear those birds chirping and the cars start moving, and I know it's morning. And the police people come once again, the Land Rover is there. The same clothes I wore yesterday morning, the same clothes I have now this early morning, and I go to court. And when I get on our way there, the policeman asks me, do you have 1 million Kenya shillings cash? And I say,
like that?
Yeah. And I say, I don't have that kind of money. We've just paid school fees. We've just paid so much. We don't even have anything close to that. What for? And he said to me, if you do not have 1 million Kenya shillings, then your life will turn out very bad. Because if you would have had that 1 million Kenya shillings, we would have talked. But now, and then he asked me the second question, have you ever been to Langata Women Prison? I said, no, I don't even know where it is. He said, tonight, you will know where it is.
My God.
With so much assurance. And so I get, before the magistrate, and 4 counts are read, to me. 3 counts of theft and 1 count for conspiracy to defraud the bank. And of course I say, no, I'm not guilty. I'm not the one who stole the money. I didn't conspire with anyone to defraud the bank. And so the magistrate says to me, do you have 1 million Kenya shillings?
The magistrate?
Yes.
Teresa, now you're going to make us start interceding for this, our judiciary, at another level.
Yeah.
Directly?
Now directly.
Like that?
Yes.
And do you have 1 million shillings?
No, and so this 1 million Kenya shillings starts to really make me wonder, what is it about this 1 million Kenya shillings? And so the magistrate now sets my bail, cash bail, at 1 million Kenya shillings. I knew I don't have the cash, and now I start remembering the arresting officer's words, because at that point, I'm whisked away and into the cells. We were where the Supreme Court currently is, so I was whisked away to the cells that were underground, and within a couple of hours, got into the Kenya Prison Service bus, and now heading to Langata. And so the words of the arresting officer now started to make sense. So I'm in this bus, and as I'm in this bus, a lot of friends are now reaching out to my family because I was in the lunchtime news, bank manager thief. And so by the time I get to Langata, even the prison warders have seen the news, and they're like, this is the bank thief. We saw her in the lunchtime bulletin. Here she is. So everyone at Langata welcomed me as the bank manager thief. And so even the other remandees started asking me, where's the money? Where's the money? It was a very traumatic time, trying to explain how I didn't steal, coming into terms with exactly what has just happened. But inside me, knowing I had not committed any of these crimes, I was so sure within myself that I'd get the vindication I was looking for. I thought the judiciary was a place where, for sure, we'll get to the bottom of this and the truth will be known. So the following morning, I'm reading the news in the newspaper from some of the warders and reading my story about how I stole money. And I can't believe that even the news got it wrong as I'm reading about myself. And by this time, friends are flocking in. What happened, Teresa? We're reading about you. You stole money. You're a thief? How could you defraud your employer? And I'm trying to really explain. So it was from that moment that I felt my voice had been taken away from me. It's the world against me. How do I prove that I didn't do this? And within a short time, my parents had managed to gather the family together, gotten me a lawyer, had my bail terms reviewed, came down to 500,000 shillings. My uncle, God rest his soul in peace because he's now passed on, paid for me the bail, and I got out. And immediately I got out, I went, signed my termination letter because that was the first call I got. You need to come and sign your termination letter. And my banking career
Came to an end.
Came to an end just like that. And as I went home, my landlord asked me, I saw you in the news, Teresa. I saw the news that you stole from your employer. And so I said, well, it's a long story, but I now don't have a job, so I had to start explaining how I'd manage. And I sat there, I was just had turned 30. And I started thinking to myself, what will become of me now? The whole nation, the whole world knows I'm a thief. But that's not what I am. And I knew my mention date. So the case starts. And I wondered, how do I manage the judiciary, paying my lawyer, proving I'm innocent, just recollecting myself. It's the shame, the embarrassment. Everyone I'd meet, starting to try to explain to them, oh, it's not what you've seen in the news. I'm innocent. Do I hide? What do I do? And so the court case started, and every 2 weeks I'd been caught, and in between I'd been in for mentions. But while I was attending court, I would meet the women that I had met in remand, because for them they couldn't post bail. And I would remember their words to me, 1 million Kenya shillings, 500,000 Kenya shillings, you're not getting out of here. It will be years before you leave this place. For them, it was 1,000 shillings, 2,000 shillings.
1,000 and 2,000 shillings.
And that's for them. That's why they thought, for me, I'll never get out.
Because this is 500,000.
Theirs
is 1,000 shillings.
Shillings. And when I was there, because we would go in, and for me now, I'd switch and go to the side of accused people, the criminals.
Why?
Because I was the accused person.
Okay.
So I'd walk in, and that's where I would stand in court as the accused criminal person. And it would break my heart just going there knowing this is not who I am. But while they're at the dock, I would meet those women, and I'd be like, hello, how are you? And they'd be, because you can go out, please, could you go get me a bar of soap? Could you go get me some sanitary towels? Could you go get me some milk? and talk to the officers and pass those along so that when I go back, I can take a shower, I can take good care of myself, get me some panties. And this was the next 2.5 years for me going to court.
Case was 2.5 years.
It went on for 2.5 years.
But you were assisting these women.
But I could keep in touch with these women. And every once in a while, one of them would come in and her day of conviction would be that day. And she'd be convicted. And so that would be the end of our journey, seeing her in court. Because now she's in prison. And so because I got to learn their stories, I would say, you know what? These are nobodies in Kenya. And let me tell you, Pastor Angie, when you're a nobody in Kenya, the last thing you want is to be an accused person.
Yeah.
Because some bodies would come, get in front of that judge, but they would easily get out.
Yeah, pay the money they're being asked to pay, and it's done.
And it's done. But the nobodies, their voices would be silenced and they would rot, their souls forgotten, year in, year out. And for me, that's how God spoke to me. The discontentment in my heart of knowing about these nobodies and how their souls will just rot away behind bars and nobody would care.
And nobody cares.
And so with that discontentment in me, I kept thinking to myself, well, let me stay as sober as I can to give my facts to this court to see to it that I get the justice I'm seeking for, but also remembering these women because I knew most of their cases. They were hawkers. They had brewed the illicit brew to make ends meet.
Some are prostitutes.
Some were prostitutes, but they didn't prostitute out of choice. It's to provide for the women, for their children. And the notes they would give me, because they would know we would meet in court, and they would come with some notes. My daughter is this and this place. My child is this and this place. Look for her. Look for my children. Go to this school. Speak to the head teacher. Let them know this is where the mother of so-and-so went to, and see how you could assist. And so I would leave court and then go to look to an address that I had been given and try and look for these children and say to them, your mom is such and such a place.
Because they don't even know where the mom is.
They don't even know. Mom woke up in the morning and as usual went to look for our daily bread.
But didn't come back.
And so day 1, day 2, mom will come back. But mom doesn't come back. And so they hit the streets. They go looking for neighbors, not knowing where mom went to. And mom not knowing how to communicate to her children.
Because you can't communicate.
There's no means, there's no ways.
And you know the saddest thing that you told me as I bring this now, section to this, I think the saddest thing that I heard from you it's even making me not sleep at night is the way the women cry at night for their children within the prison system. But then the other thing that really broke my heart is that even if, because you've been there with a few leaders who have paid, they've said we'll pay for people to be set free. People have even paid 100,000 shillings. Let them go, but very soon they're back. Because you've paid for them, yes, the 1,000 and the 2,000, but we haven't solved the problem of where are they going to go. So they're going to go back to brewing the changa, prostituting themselves, hawking, loitering. So before long, back in the system. So the idea is to offer something outside that they can do, which was very encouraging for me at least. But you know, every night before I go to bed now, I pray for those women.
Thank you.
I say, God, hear their cry.
Thank you.
Because in the book of Exodus, it says, God said, I heard the cries of my people.
Yes.
And that's what Mwenye Monday is about. May God hear the cries of his people. And right now we're talking about the women. I have no idea what happens in the men's prison. But for such a loud cry to be released from one place, may God hear the cries of the women. You're watching Mwenye Monday. We'll be back next Monday to continue this conversation with Teresa. And in the meantime, please pray for those who are incarcerated, and whatever you can do, wherever you are, please do it. God bless you. Bye.